Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Counselors Connect. Tonight we are excited to bring this phenomenal woman. Let me just tell you this, guys. I have been trying to pin down this lady for months, for weeks, for days, and I finally got a hold of her. I want you guys, from wherever you are, to turn your screens up, to take your pens out, take your notebooks out, because this jewel that I have sitting in the room with me today, I am truly honored to have this special woman who I call my mom in the room.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody today?
We are good, Mom. Welcome to my journey has purpose. Welcome to Counselors Connect.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you are in the room.
I'm glad to be here finally.
Yes. So the last, I'm not sure if this video is going to be clipped or whatever, but I wanted us to dive right back in because we were talking about support and how important support is.
Yeah. Like I said in the very beginning, I'm going to be just natural. I'm not going to try to be scripted or anything like that, but just to be transparent, y'all, we were having such great conversation and we had to kind of like revert back. So we just going to dive right back into where we were. So
yes,
the question was...
because we were talking about the passing of grandma, and then we were talking about how you were not able to, in your mind, you felt like you couldn't do certain things. And then you said because you had the support of your siblings and of your family is why you were able to say, okay, I'll do this. Yeah. And then the question that I asked you was, do you feel like a support team is needed, like in anything, an aspect of your life?
And what did I say?
You basically said it depends.
Right. It depends.
And then I wanted you to stick a pin in that, and I wanted you to elaborate on why you said it depends.
Well, it depends a lot on the situation, because not everything requires the same. How can I say it? It depends.
Okay.
And what I mean by it depends is it's like we always say that, like when we do things at work or at church, if that's not your gift or if that's not what you know how to do, don't bother even being putting yourself in that place because you're just gonna be in the way. Right. I'm gonna just use that word.
You're in the way. Back up.
So you was mentioning about somebody that is in the hospital currently, blah blah, and I understood where you were going with that.
Right.
And my response to that was, if the shoe was turned for me, I don't want you to be supporting me because you're feeling sorry for me, because that's not what I need.
It's not genuine.
Right. Not even, it's not genuine, but you're not there for the right reason. So you're not there for the right, you're just there because you're feeling sorry for me. I don't think that's the right reason to be there. I know that, certain things we want to be a part of, but sometimes, like I said before, we could just be in the way. But support is needed, but it depends on what it is.
Right.
Where the support needs to be implemented.
Right. And I find in my own life that the support team that I thought I would have with things that I do is not 100% there. And it's okay because, again, like you said, some people will just naturally be in the way and are not supposed to be there. But those that are supposed to be there to help you and propel you, and I feel like I'm getting a little churchy now.
Get churchy.
And propel you to the next level are supposed to be there.
Okay.
To help push you to the next level.
So it's funny that you're saying you're talking about support, and it's funny because me and Daddy was talking about this group that we know.
Okay.
And when because you said churchy, so we're gonna be
we're being churchy today, y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna take church just for a minute, but when God calls you to do something, He doesn't call everybody,
Wow.
right?
Yep.
Everybody's not called to do what you're supposed to do. But I'm not talking about you, but
Yeah.
I'm just
My
saying,
mother's being mother right now, guys.
right? But
That's true. That's true.
He didn't call me. He didn't call dad. He didn't call, the family. If He's called you to do something,
Stop looking for a party to be there with you.
right? Because God is going to supply everything that you need. So in regards to when you're saying that support that you don't have, God knows the support that you need.
Right.
Sometimes when God wants us to be able to fly, and I'm going to bring the eagle
Oh yeah,
and
that
the
was a
nest.
good. Yes.
When the eagle has his little, what they call the little baby eagles, they're in the eagle's making it very comfortable for the baby eagle. But when
Right.
it's time for that eagle to get up out of that nest,
Right.
the eagle's going to make it very uncomfortable for the baby eagle, because the eagle wants that baby eagle to go ahead and fly.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you now is that if we feel that we don't get support that we need, sometimes God needs us
Right.
to be able to fly,
Right.
but the support will always be there.
Exactly. And I think too.
You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I get what you're saying. I think too that God wants us to not listen to the other opinions of others as well, because sometimes, as you said earlier, that sometimes you're fearful of you have great ideas, you start stuff, and then you kind of like get fearful. And I think sometimes too, we are so focused on the opinions of others that what they say matters opposed to what God told us. So that'll again stop us, give us fear, and and question even if this is what we're supposed to be doing. So like you said, the support is there, but I think for some people need to see, like, just like with faith, like how we faith is like of a mustard seed. We don't actually see God, and we can't feel him, but we just got to trust and know that he's there. I think it's the same thing with support with some people. Some people need to actually see people, like visible support
agree.
from people, and others
I agree with that.
just feel like
I agree with that, but don't be be encouraged. Don't be discouraged.
right.
Because
And that's for anybody out there that may feel that
that's
way.
that's for anybody out there.
Yeah.
But for those that may feel that, where's the support that I need? I thought I had, all these supporters and stuff like that. First of all, the vision, the visionary.
Yeah.
It starts with the visionary. Everybody's not going to latch on to that person's vision.
Yes.
You have the vision, execute it. Everybody's not going to join the bandwagon
Yep.
until, how we get.
Yep.
Let me see what you're doing
It's a
first
lonely road out here.
It's a very lonely road. Let me see what you're doing before I decide if I'm going to be a part of it. That's how nature is.
Right.
Even with new brand stores or things, or people might not be with it until something happens and they're like, wow.
But I have a question about that. Why is it like that? I'm not even going to say why is the culture like that, but why is it like that? Because you could go to a store. Like, I know for me, if I like a shirt, I don't care who made the shirt. If I like the shirt, I'll get 20 other shirts. I feel like because if we know who's doing it, who's behind it, if we know them personally, we just feel like, oh no, I don't. But sometimes even the food that we eat, we don't know who's making it. If we like it, we're going to eat it, and we'll go there to that restaurant a million times because we like the food that's being produced.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very careful what I say, because too much stuff is going on social media right now. So I'm not mentioning no names of no shoes, no sneakers, no nothing, no food, no church, none of that stuff, because of
We're not
social media. No, I'm just saying because of social media, because I could give an example. That the reason why I'm saying that is I could give an example of some sneakers and some slippers that I was like, those are ugly. But I got like 3 pairs of all of them, and I was so against it, but because it became so trendy.
Are they comfortable?
They are. because it became so trendy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want a pair. But in the beginning, I
yeah.
was like, I'm not wearing those things. They're ugly.
But that's the thing. We as humans, we follow the trends. We
Yes.
follow what's popular.
Right.
Even I even look at the TikToks and the reels.
You have TikTok?
I don't have TikTok, but Naomi has TikTok.
I don't have
But
any.
you look at her TikTok, and Kwesi most times will say, "Oh, Naomi, what's the trending song?" It could be the song that makes no sense, that just has like a catchy beat, with someone that's wearing anything. You turn on the news or the TV, you'll see everybody wearing it. It don't make sense to us, but it's what's trending. And again, we don't even know who the person is, but we'll support their brand. We'll make them the next billionaire. But it's just like in our own backyards, we gotta see what they're doing. We gotta, I don't know. I'm
You
not
have
gonna
to change that
And that's the
trend.
thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people would be so much further, but because we're always IDing what people are doing and feeling like, oh no, let's just keep them.
It's a crazy world out there.
And that's
It's
the
a
thing.
crazy world out there.
And that support level, and I could say for myself, I could do better, but I do support people, but I could do better as a person. But when I do see people that are doing great things, I make it my business to support them, rather as sharing, posting, or encouraging them, or doing, any type of thing like that. But we as a people, as humans, because I'm not gonna say people, we as humans, we definitely have to do better with supporting each other, if it's beneficial, of course, especially to the kingdom.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're gonna get off of that topic, because that was a thick topic right there.
Very thick.
Support, and maybe we could come back and maybe add more people.
Support is important. Let's just stay on that for a second. Support is important because as an entrepreneur, I have many different types of business. And I understand what you mean about support because I had 2 salons.
Get into it, girl.
And support I thought was going to be there wasn't the way I thought it would be. You know, even, with certain other businesses that I have, some supports I didn't have, but I learned that I don't want to depend on, families or friends that, I thought would be there to support. And I learned that promotion and, networking was important.
Yes.
And learning the business, that's what was important to build your business. So if I could throw that out there to someone that may need to know
Yes.
about support and why we're lacking support, we have to build our brand, our business, know your business, know what it is, know your product, whatever it is that you're promoting, whatever, and be able to stay on top of it. Because if I could just pivot for a minute, when I had a salon and I was in it full time, not just on the weekends, and I was like, okay, we have to really build this business. And one of the things that me and Dad did was we looked to see what other business were doing and how they made it work. And especially for African American, a black salon, let's say.
Yes.
Across the street was a Caucasian salon, and they had staff, and I was like, what are they doing different from what we were doing?
Nothing.
And I had to, there was a big type of difference, because I think that personally for me, for my business, as a black owner, I had to get out of that mentality of thinking that I'm only going to provide service to a certain, community. I had to open up, my mindset to be able to provide service for everybody.
Exactly.
And I was, I don't want to throw,
The card.
the card, but I had to look like, okay, what are they doing different? We both cut hair. We both, provide color service. We both do all these different type of things. But for me, at one point, I was only focusing on the African American community.
Wow.
And I had to change that. And that's when things changed for my business, where I provided services because I was trained to do it. So you have to look at what you're doing and how you can be just like the next person. What are you doing different that they're doing, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And I wanted to ask you, because I don't think a lot of people know, you do hair?
Yes, I do.
So my
I'm a retired, I would call myself a semi type of retired master hairstylist.
Okay, so for y'all that do not know, my mother is very gifted and talented with her hands. Okay? She has she is the only one that has ever done my hair until I got to the age where she couldn't do my hair anymore. I mean, she still does hair, but of course you see how long it took me to get her into the seat tonight? I would have to literally book appointments at this age now to have her do my hair. But this woman right here has been doing hair since before the time I was born, and I'm 33, going to be 34. So 34 years of my life she's been doing hair, cutting hair, coloring. She is the master stylist and probably taught half of people on Long Island how to do hair. So
Work with the best.
yes, she's worked with the best in Long
Yeah.
Island. So I don't know if you want to book an appointment. You taking any bookings?
I would, you know what, April, I would really love to go back doing hair but one, I don't have time to stand on my feet all day like I used to.
Why don't you teach a class? Like just
That's
I think that would be nice. Teaching a hair class.
that's something that I would definitely those are one of the things I wanted to do was to be a platform stylist as well as teaching hair
Yeah,
care.
you could. I'm just here. Listen, guys, I'm here. We're here planning stuff now. Why don't you add this underneath My Journey Has Purpose, a hair class? You don't have to do it every week. This could be like maybe once a month. You could book out a hotel. Those that want to sign up, pay $150. You bring your mannequin, show them how to cut color. Listen,
Yeah, something
we're
I
gonna
could
we're gonna
probably
set
do.
this up.
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
So, My Journey Has Purpose hair class. Listen, y'all, get y'all scissors. For all those that desire to be hairstylists and you want to sit with the master stylist, I'm here. Listen to me. I'm always thinking
Yeah,
business.
but you know what, April? What really messed it up for a lot of hairstylists is YouTube. That's when everything went downhill.
But you know what?
To me.
YouTube is good, but I feel like the natural in-person teaching is still needed.
The game has changed.
Okay.
The game
All
has
right,
changed.
y'all heard it first. The game has
It
changed,
has. Because I saw something on Facebook or somebody that they were rapping. Some of y'all might have seen it. It was this lady. I guess she was talking about. She was kind of spitting bars about bringing back the old time salons where a lot in the salons is where you met a lot of people, where you would make friends, and it's not like that anymore.
Right.
There's now the salon suites, which is private salon. You
That's
gotta
true.
book online, you gotta pay in advance, and all these different stuff is no longer that.
Yeah.
Everything. Nobody's really doing hair anymore.
Right.
They're making wigs.
That's true.
They're making wigs. They're not even doing sew-ins no more. They're making custom wigs, and you just
That's the
get
end
your
thing now.
head measurement and come back in a couple of days and get your hair, and we slip it on
And that's the
lace
new
fronts,
wave.
and that's it. So
Yeah,
hair
that's
care,
true.
I mean, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle because we're making stylists out there is making a lot of money. What they're doing, and hair is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
But underneath all of that, we have a mess going on,
Right.
and we need to bring back hair care.
Right. And I'm glad that you're touching on hair care.
I don't know what this has to do with.
It's
Counsel
okay.
Connect,
It's okay.
but-
Listen, you're my mom, so we're gonna just. It's also real talk. So
Okay.
you're talking about your journey. My journey has purpose,
Yes.
and all of this is a part of your journey and a part of you being a social worker, which you haven't even touched on yet. So you're loaded with so much. You're a master hairstylist. You have the My Journey Has Purpose business. You have the podcast. You're a social worker, which a lot of people you haven't even talked about yet. You're a mom. You're a wife. You're in leadership at the church. You're doing so
lot.
much in the community. You're the director. Have the CEO of King's Kids. So you are doing so many major things in the community. And as you talk about hair care, there's a lot of women that don't understand why hair care is so important, as well as self care.
Mm-hmm.
And before we talk about hair care, I wanted to ask you, what are some things, and I ask this to everybody, for everyone that comes on the show or the podcast, they know I love self care.
Mm.
That's one of my favorite things to talk about is self care because I'm big on it. I'm big on relaxing,
Mm.
taking a break, escaping whatever issues may be going on, and just, you know, taking a moment. So I want to ask you, what do you do for self care?
You don't even have to ask me that. I love, love, love massage. I have to have one every day. Every day. And if you know, April, if you touch my back,
Yes.
I'm like, April. And with that, I'm always telling them, can you do my back? I love deep muscle massage, but I also love music. I love soothing music. I'm kind of getting into a little bit of I don't want to really call it jazz, but I've been listening lately. I've been listening to this violinist that's playing all the different music that's going on right now, and he's been playing, and it's just so soothing to me. So I love R&B. I love slow jams. So I like listening to all the. I am an elder in the church, but I
It's
love
soothing, and
that.
you can listen to it
Yeah,
with your husband.
yeah. And I
Yes.
love taking baths,
Oh, bubble baths.
bubble
Yes.
baths. I love
Yes.
that. So
Yes. And
that's
that's
the part.
needed. And how could you encourage someone today that's never taken a break, that's never got a massage, that's never taken a bubble bath, that may be that overworking, overwhelmed mom, single mom? How could you encourage them today to,
Mufasa.
yes,
You have to take that break because you'll be burnt out. And if your head is feeling like overwhelmed and this, you have like scattered brain and stuff like that, that means that's the sign of burnout. Yeah, you anxiety, different stuff like that. You're burnt out. You have to take that mental break. And when I say mental break, you just gotta stop and do something for yourself. If it's just lay in the bed in the dark, quiet, away from everybody, do that. If it's just don't go to work on the tomorrow because you just don't feel like it, you're entitled to it. Do that.
yes.
Do that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here with the
Take
founder
that
of My
break.
Journey Has Purpose.
Take that break.
Take that break.
Send the kids to school and stay home and don't even get out to bed. Eat breakfast in the bed, eat lunch in the bed, drink your coffee in the bed. Don't even go out. Don't even do anything.
You heard it here
Take
first.
that break.
Take the break because burnt out is real.
It's
And a
real.
lot of people don't understand what's happening to them when they're like, oh my goodness, I have to get this done. I have to run to the store. I have to pay this
You
bill. I
can't
have
do
to.
everything in one day. No matter. I used to try to do everything. I'm like, you know what? I'm not. Just take that break. If you need a break, I did it the other day when I was like, you know what? I'm like, I literally got ready for work and I said, I'm not go today. So, and Dad was like, you're not going to work? I was like, nope, I'm staying home
And that's, yep.
because I needed a break.
And everyone's entitled. A lot of people don't know, but you're entitled to your mental health day.
That EAP day,
That's
take that
every, but
day.
that's every month.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, mental health days is every month. People don't know that.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
So
you
I
for
mean, I
telling
don't
me.
I don't take mine every month, but because I take my breaks while I'm at work and I do therapeutic things for myself. But a lot of people don't know. Like you could take that mental health. You could say I'm taking a mental health day. You don't have to
Yeah.
call out sick or say personal day. They give you mental health days. So if you need a mental health day, request it because it's there.
EAP. Say I'm
EAP
taking an
time.
EAP day.
Because it's important. And we don't want you to feel burnt out. We don't want you to feel stressed, overworked, because we know the economy, everything is going crazy. Prices is rising. Some may have 2 and 3 jobs. Some may have not gotten any sleep. Some
Yeah.
may be single parents. Some may not sure how their rent's going to be paid. Rent might have just went up.
Struggle is real.
Struggle is real. Listen, we're all in the same boat
Yeah.
here, and we're here to give you some coping strategies to help you so that you won't be burnt out, so that you could have a better life. You could feel better. Because if you're no good to yourself, you'll be no good to your children. You'll be no good to the workplace. You'll be no good to your coworkers. You'll be no good to yourself. And praying is key. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about God and don't like to say, oh, well, who am I? God ain't doing nothing for me. But no, prayer is essential, especially in this
Sure
time.
is.
Prayer is the thing that helps me going. It keeps me going.
You know, it's funny you said that because I've been talking about this all week. All week. About the 3 things that God gave me just this week. He said that communication, bring everything to him in prayer, and to trust him.
Wow.
So if you don't have that relationship with God, you don't talk to God, you have to have that.
You have to. Daily.
You have to have that quiet time carved out for God. You have to, because if you don't, how are you going to bring everything in prayer to him? Because the only way he's going to hear you is through prayer. And we struggle with prayer because we don't have that relationship that we say we have with him. How are we going to pray to somebody we don't know?
Right.
We don't have that relationship with. How are we going to ask him for something? Think about it. That we can, it's just like if we're going to ask somebody at work or somebody we in the family that we ain't spoken to in months,
You feel weird.
in days, all week. We ain't talked to no. How are you going to say, God, I need you to do this for me? If I was God, I'd be like, I ain't heard from you all week. I ain't giving you nothing.
Yep. So true.
And then we want God to trust. We want to trust God. And we don't know him. How are we going to trust somebody we don't even?
That's so true.
So I just want to plug that God gave me. So
Yeah, and he will supply all your needs. So
Yes.
as you're, like you said, as you're trusting and praying about God fixing situations, he's already on the field working and making it happen. But because you're not praying to him, you're not knowing that he's already working and already worked it out for you. So praying and trusting is key. So Miss Spence, I want you to, because I know the focus of my Journey Has Purpose. If you could just tell us a little bit about the focus of My Journey Has Purpose and some things that you have coming up in the future.
Okay.
For those that do not know, that want to, look out for some things or any events coming up.
Well, like I said, I have a lot in my head that I want to do for My Journey Has Purpose. The focus of it is mainly because of my guidance counselor, who, when I had my baby, he was very sick, which caused me to kind of miss a lot of school.
Wow.
I was a good student, but it caused me to be absent from school a lot.
Wow.
So they asked me to just quit school. Go home and take care of your baby was, quote unquote, that was told to me. So as a young mother, I was kind of like confused. As a high school student, I'm like, what do you mean go home? And I love school. I enjoyed coming to school, but because of certain things that was going on, I had to miss school. I would come this week and maybe next week I only come 2 days out of the week, or so it was a scattered. I wasn't as frequent, which caused my grades, because I missed a lot of school and
Right.
missed certain instructions. So they told me I need to sign out of school and whatever. That would be the best thing to do. So I was a little hurt behind that. And once you leave school as a young person, you're not gonna go back. You're not coming back. And that was my situation. I didn't go back, and I became what they call a high school dropout. And that thing bothered me for many, many years. I
Wow.
was like, I didn't accomplish certain things that I set out to do. And I was determined to beat the odds. And after a couple of years, trying to get a job, my son passed away. Your brother passed away. And I needed to now get back on my feet. Me and Dad had certain things we had to do, and we had to get back. I personally had to get back on my feet. I had to get back on the wheel and finish what I didn't finish. And what opened my eyes was when I tried to get a job. And they were like, oh, you got all this experience, but you don't have your diploma. And I was like, what? They were like, yeah, you need your diploma. We can't give you a job without a high school diploma. And that was where everything kind of turned left. And I was being denied a lot of jobs because I didn't have my diploma. So I had to do something about it. And I decided that I would never, ever be turned away from another job. So I went back to school. Got my GED, and, it all started from there. So to answer your question in regards to the focus is to teenage mothers or young people that, have fallen in certain areas where they just feel like they can't become self-sufficient. So my job was to show them that you can do it.
Wow.
Don't let nobody tell you that you can't. And I proved it. And I'm really looking forward to meeting back with this guidance counselor, who I believe lives in Baldwin. Because I met somebody recently, and they were like, oh, yeah, they live in Baldwin. They knew exactly who the person was. And I was like, I need to meet that guidance counselor again to let them know they were wrong.
So I'm here tearing up because you're my mom, but I've never heard you share that story the way you just did.
Yep.
That was so powerful to see and to understand now why my journey has purpose, what it means, because you never really shared it. That was so beautiful.
Yep.
And to see where you are today and how you're going to change lives. And I even think about me and my sisters. And sometimes a fight. But now I'm like, wow, that just empowered me to go even further because of what you've been through as my mom.
Yep.
That, listen, Mom, you don't understand what you just did. I feel like Uncle Ronnie. I really feel like Uncle Ronnie right now because I've never, you shared stories. And I don't mean to be crying, but you didn't really get into it. But I've never heard you share the way you did tonight. And your journey has purpose. And I believe that tonight is the night for everything that you need to get done, because you just helped me. Because sometimes I don't feel like I'm worth much. And to hear your story, Mom, I know I'm not even where I need to be yet because I have so much more to do because of your no. Because when they told you no, I'm knocking down every door from tonight. No one is telling me no because of the no that they gave you. Every denial letter that you've gotten is every yes that me and my sisters and my brother's going to receive. And I claim it tonight.
Amen.
And anybody else that's watching this, grab onto your yes.
Yeah.
So every no that they gave you, Mom, I promise you, I'm going after everything. Every idea that I've ever had that I was afraid to go forward with, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
It's a part of my journey.
So listen, you have so many people. The work is just getting started, and you have so many people, Mom, that need to hear from you. So many people. Your story is cannot just sit on the shelf. It cannot
Yes.
just sit on the shelf.
That's just
It can't.
that's just the introduction.
You are so. This right here just put me into. I'm sitting here like, just like I want to hear more. Like I want to hear the finished product. Wow.
Yeah. There's so much.
I don't even know what to say after this.
There's so much.
That was just. That was heavy.
You know what's funny? I remember this had to be in the 80s. I remember, I don't remember how the song, I remember this lullaby. I remember sitting in a chair in the back room where I used to live at in Massapequa at Grandma's house. And your brother was very sick, very small, very fragile, very beautiful. And I remember holding him. And I was sitting in a chair, something like this. And I remember holding him, and I remember Grandma she might have been cooking curry chicken or something, stew chicken in the kitchen. And I remember feeding him, and I was holding him because it was, and I remember singing a song. And I remember, I think I started writing about way back then. So it had to be way back, at least 1984, 85. At least back in that, because he was born in 84. So about 85, 84, 85. About 85, yeah, 85. And I started writing about all that I was going through with him. I remember writing because I used to write down a lot. I used to have a little journal. Back then we called it diaries.
You got to get back to that.
We had diaries back then. That's what we called it, diary. Now they call it journals. And I remember writing my experiences that I was going through.
Wow.
With him. Well, I don't even know where that is, but I used to do a lot of journaling. And I remember that moment of what I was experiencing. Because as a young woman, that was a lot for me to handle and deal with.
And how old were you when you were?
At that point, I was probably about 18.
18 years old. Okay.
Yeah. I was probably about 18 years old. And I was, remember holding him and looking at him and asking God why, why did things have to be like this with him? So.
Wow.
It's all about my journey as purpose.
Yeah, this is because I'm thinking even like the field of social work that you're in and how you, because I'm even thinking about like how you have your master's now, like, and you're a master in social work, and how you were just going back and like how you were told no and they told you to go home and then you started trying to apply to schools and stuff and jobs and they were telling you no, getting denial letters. You went back to got your GED. Then I remember you went to Empire, got your associate's, bachelor's, and then you went on and got your master's. And I'm just thinking about all of these people now that are listening and watching, and even those that may be in our life that have experienced what you have experienced, and has young babies, are getting no's, feel like the world is against them, feel like there's no coming back. Because a lot of people don't know that I was a teenage mom. I had Naomi when I was 19 years old. And I remember that I worked at a job that I did not. I actually started as a teacher, and I didn't want to be a teacher. And I was like, I'll just work here because I know I needed to have income to take care of Naomi. But I remember you and Daddy told me, like, listen, get yourself together. And I remember from the last conversation that we had, without you even sharing what you shared with us tonight, I remember that I said, you know what, I don't want my daughter to see me, any kind of way. So I made sure that, like, I went forth and I just, I pushed, and I get what you were saying about when you're young and have a baby. It's hard. It's hard.
It's it. It's it.
And living in your parents' house, trying to take care of your baby, trying to be grown and fast, and trying to live life. It's not easy. And for those that may be teenagers, teenage moms, may be pregnant right now and may not know, like, listen, I'll never be able to go back and get my GED.
You can.
And it's so funny that, like, thinking about my role now and where I am and how I'm helping servicing those, I'm just, and I think that's what's having me tear even more, because I'm servicing people like that.
You're in such a great place.
I'm just like, wow, God is
to
just
encourage.
how He allowed me to be in this position. It all makes sense.
Because I was one of those. I didn't see where you are in.
It's mind blowing.
I didn't have that. They didn't give me that chance, like what the students that you have. You're actually sitting in a place where I would love to be sitting in, because I would be looking in the eyes of the students that
We're just like you.
Exactly.
Wow. I don't mean to keep crying. I'm just having a George Benjamin moment. It's just a wow.
Yeah. It's one of those moments that.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Mom, I'm literally speechless, and I'm like, you have so much you have to do. You can no longer just sit back. And for those of you that know my mom, she's very chill. She's been saying this lately, like, oh, I'm gonna let you guys just do your thing, and I'll just start up my podcast or my events and do things when I'm ready. But no, Mom, the time is now. The time is now.
Yeah.
So whatever you need me to do to help you, because again, I can't reach the people that you need to reach, because how you just helped me tonight, I don't think anyone could have helped me just now, because again, every no that was said to you is every yes that I'm about to receive, and I'm speaking that in the atmosphere.
That's right.
I will no longer accept no. And if they do tell me no, I need to know why.
That's right. I agree.
Because I'm worth it.
I agree.
And when they didn't give you that chance and they couldn't explain to you, because you're giving opportunities at 18 and 19, although, because again, we know life happens, you get pregnant, but doesn't mean life's over. They basically sent you home for you to say life was over.
Yeah, basically.
And life was not over for you. You could have continued on and got your diploma.
I missed out on everything. Missed out on the prom. I missed out on the graduation. Everything. And that was like, for me, I was like so hurt. So hurt. Because I was right there. I was right there.
Can you just look into the camera for, because I'm going to pin this part of the video so that all of the teenagers, if you have to start a teenage club for the single moms, single and pregnant. Listen, I was once there, so I know what it is to be single and pregnant. But I don't know. Are you gonna do something to help the young and single moms, the teenage moms?
There's so much. There's so much I want to do, and like I said, like we was just talking about, that networking is everything. So, one of the things that I know that I need to do is I need to network with certain targeted areas that have those young women that I need to reach.
And I want to just tell you this, Mom, before you, I'm sorry. You're not even going to have to say nothing, because once they hear this story, the platforms that you're getting ready to be on, just to share, you don't have to say, you don't have to promote yourself. Just hearing this little piece of your story is going to catapult you to the next dimension. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
No, I hope, no, seriously.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Because a lot of times,
ready.
Things are started with nothing, just I want to do this because, but you have an impactful story that will not, I'm not going to say that has a potential, that will change lives, and that is going to change lives.
Yeah. There's so many chapters to my journey, the book of my journey of purpose. There's so many
It's
chapters.
heavy.
And I don't want to rush through those chapters.
Yeah, don't.
Because every chapter.
Because I'm already here in tears with
every page.
with just the biograph. I'm like,
Yeah.
just teared up.
Yeah, there's a lot of chapters to it. There's a lot. There's so much that came out of my journey. You came out of my journey
Yeah.
as purpose. But there's so many different chapters. There's like, I feel like
Love on Fire,
I was just about to talk about,
which is
Love on Fire. There's so much, which is dealing with marriages, couples. Because there's that chapter in my life that me and
Daddy been dating since I was 15.
Since we were 15, we
Sucking on the bottles.
Kicking sand in the dirt box. So there's that aspect of our relationship that I can't wait till we share it. That part right there is, sharing that part of, like how we made it. Made it through being even young teenage parents. We were just adding up the numbers. I was like, what were we doing? What were we thinking? Because when I look at some of the kids now, I'm like, are they crazy? But me and your dad was crazy in love, but we were dumb.
Yeah.
We were just doing
That's how love
stupid
is.
stuff. But, having a sick baby at that too.
Yeah.
So there's so much to that chapter. And then there's, the journey, just that journey. And then finding Christ in the midst of all of everything. There's just so much.
So it sounds like you got a lot of sketching to do as far as getting things done.
Yeah.
Because this cannot no longer just sit and just wait. If you need a team, I'm a part of the team to help you, let this manifest. But it's time to let your voice be heard, because the little bit that you just shared. I mean, and I'm this is my real mom. This is not no fake stepmom or godmommy. This is my real mother, guys.
Yep, real mama.
And I've heard my mother, and of course you hear your parents talk, but to actually sit, because sometimes we're listening, but we're on our phones texting. But I literally sat here and listened to you, and I was like, what? Wow, like that was powerful. So imagine the other millions of young women that have experienced that or are experiencing it right now. How much empowerment that they will feel by just hearing.
When you say the word empowerment, one of the things that just jumped out at me is when we help young people like what we've been through, you have to want to change.
Yes.
We can't make you change.
Right.
You have to want to change, because that it brings to mind one young lady that I was working with. And I don't know. I don't want to mention any names because of confidentiality and different stuff like that. But the need was there. But I don't think they were ready for change.
Right.
And it frustrated me so much because I'm like, girl, if you just do what I tell you, just follow the plan that I'm giving you. And they would follow it and then draw back. They would follow it and then draw back. And I'm like, I'm done. But that's one of the things I don't like. Dad would say, you can't be done with her because
Right.
she needs you.
Exactly.
And I would say, but she ain't listening.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I find very challenging is, working with young women that want to change but
But not
feel
ready.
stuck, that don't want to change, that'll be like, yeah, I want to do it, and then pull back
Right.
and say, so that's another thing, that one of the steps that we got to work on is like making sure that, are you ready to change?
Right.
Because you don't have to be the way that you are. You don't have to, depend on the system to carry you through. You don't have to depend on, you can make it on your own.
Right.
A lot of times the system is set up for us to rely on the system. You don't need the system.
And
All you gotta do is get your game right,
Right.
get your education, go back, do what you gotta do, and
Yeah, and as you say about going back to school, a lot of times I feel like when you're past a certain age, you look at the clock.
you do.
But sometimes the clock doesn't mean nothing. You gotta just say, okay, and like you said, just put your game face on. If it's gonna take 2 years, 3 years, depending on what you're going back for, whatever interests you, just get it done. Just knock it out and get it done, because look how much time you've saved by going back opposed to by you watching the clock.
Yeah. Don't waste time. That's one thing I can say. Don't waste time. Time is of the essence. Time you cannot get back. Don't waste time, because you're right. When you're at a certain age, you're gonna look and say, well, should I?
Right.
Should I? Shouldn't I? So like for me, when I decided to go back to school, I was at a certain age. When I decided to do graduate school, when I looked at paperwork of how much time I wasted procrastinating, should I or shouldn't I could have been done at that time. And then when I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, I did look at my age. I was like, is it really worth me doing all this at this time because of my age? And, I factored in those things, but I still did it.
Right.
Not that I'm that old, but I'm
Right.
just saying, because of my age now, I'm like, well, so I did look at those things, but I did not let that stop me.
Amen.
So
I'm listening to you, Mom, but I'm just still stuck on earlier, and I'm thinking of all the things I'm getting ready to do, because I'm like, they had the audacity to tell you no,
yes, they did.
and you know how much stuff I'm getting ready to do.
They told me no. They called me and said, listen, go home and take care of your baby. Here, sign this. Go home and take care of your baby. And now, knowing the things that I know now, they could have offered me
Another alternative,
an alternative. They could have offered me homeschooling
virtual,
or home tutoring until I can, they could have offered me so much
Yes.
other stuff, but they didn't.
because I have a lot of students now. I think I have about 4 students that are pregnant.
I would love to
Yeah.
work. I would love to, I was, and I don't mean to pivot again. I pivot a lot.
It's okay.
But I was thinking of, like, this is something I'm just thinking of now, like, even getting a storage unit and getting supplies and baby needs and things like that for these young women that may need help with, baby bags for the hospital. And I'm not talking about used stuff. I'm talking
Right.
about
Brand new
new
stuff.
things. Because I don't believe in
Right.
giving used goods or dirty goods and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was just thinking about that as well. Like, maybe I could start with getting a storage unit and filling it with things, with beautiful things.
Yes. Wow. I have so many ideas for you, Mom. I'm sitting here, my mind is just, because I was even thinking, like, you could push into the GED schools.
I would love to.
And you could even
I would
create a
love to. Set
mentoring for.
me up.
Yeah, like there's so
Set
many.
me
It's
up.
so many GED schools, Eastern Suffolk, Nassau. Like there's so many people. We're gonna set this up. So listen, y'all look out for My Journey Has Purpose.
Look out for my journey.
She is on the move. I know we went over time. We were literally supposed to
Yeah.
just sit and talk for about 10, 15 minutes.
She really entrapped me.
And
She really
this
entrapped me, locked
was
me in.
amazing. So I wanted to. This, I promise you, this is the last thing that I'm going to ask you. If there was like a favorite scripture or quote that you always use for yourself, what would it be and why?
My favorite scripture would be, "For Zion's sake, I will not." Is it? I will not hold my peace. I think
I
that's
think
what
I
it
think
is.
that's
I think that's what it is. I want to double check. I think it's "For Zion's sake." It's out of. Um, Sorry, y'all. Told you I was gonna be natural. Pull my pocketbook from the side. I'm so sorry, but I think it's from. It's taken out of Isaiah 62. Thank you. See my backup pastors over there.
my dad is here. He's
Pastor
gonna be next in
Spence.
the. My dad is also a
Pastor
Christian
Spence is in
counselor.
the
If
building.
y'all even know how much people my dad counsels on a regular basis,
Oh yeah,
listen, we're gonna have Pastor Spence because y'all, a lot of y'all see my dad. He's a DJ, but he does a lot of counseling
he does.
to a lot of people. So we're gonna have him on here as well. He's an awesome Christian
Amen.
counselor.
It says, "For Zion's sake, I will not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest."
And what does that mean to you?
For Zion's sake, I'm gonna take it personal. God said, "For my sake, He will not hold His peace. He's gonna do what He's gonna do. What He's gonna do for me, and He will not rest until I'm established."
Wow. Woo. That is whoo.
Hello. He's not gonna rest
I mean,
until
he's
I'm established.
working
He's working for my good.
nonstop.
He's working
Like
for my good.
with the things that you have in your mind right now, things that concern you, that may trouble you, things that you got to get done, and me, you know, what we're talking about. It's gonna get done. So as you prepare
Oh
yourself,
yes,
as you're getting on your grind,
yes,
as you're working, he's not gonna rest until it's done,
exactly.
until it's established.
I receive it. I receive it.
Whew.
I
This was
receive it.
awesome.
I receive it.
This one here tonight. Let's just do a little cheers because this one here tonight, Black Girl Magic, up in
Amen.
the room, up in the room. Mom, I want to say I thank you for your time. I'm excited for your journey because it has purpose. I'm excited for my journey because you birthed me. So great things came out of you, and I'm excited that the fear that I may have had, even on tonight, of like just questioning some things that I may say, like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or if I'm gonna be afraid. But listen, y'all about to be sick of us,
Yes, that's one of the reasons
and I don't
why.
mean it. I don't mean that in
Negative
a
way.
negative way, but I meant in a good way because we're children of God, and we can't be. Fear is not our future, as the song says.
Nope.
So we're not going to be afraid in this season and this time ever, never again. Like I'm never going to be afraid. And a lot of people don't know that even with my fearfulness of the word of God, I find that I use a lot of excuses like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm scared." Like no more.
Yeah, no more. That's the good thing about when God has your back and is in your corner. Fear is not a factor.
Nope.
Fear is not a factor.
Nope.
So, you know, look out for My Journey as Purpose. The next.
Yes. Where can we
the-
find you? Like, what's your podcast name? What's your Instagram? What's your email? Like, what events you have coming up? I know you mentioned Love on Fire. When is that? Tell the people. Tell the people. Tell the
Yeah.
people.
Well, for Love on Fire, we'll be posting something. I believe within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're targeted for April
28th?
28th is
Okay.
the target date.
Now, who
for
could come to that event? Is it married, single, dating? Is it
anybody? Y'all just come because
Okay.
everybody has a situation that they
Okay.
want to talk about. So come. It's dealing with relationships, married, single, dating, you know, engaged. So
Okay.
it's let's be real about it.
okay?
We got somebody in our lives, whether we want to talk and whether we want people to see them or not, or whatever the situation, it doesn't matter. You're in a relationship with,
Right.
we want to talk about, we don't want to
Okay.
just gear it towards married couple only,
Okay.
because we all might have relationship issues and different stuff like that. But I don't want to get too engulfed in that conversation, because that's a whole nother topic. But that's targeted for April 28th.
Okay.
And for My Journey Has Purpose, also for the young women, I decided that I don't have a target date yet, but
Okay.
it will be sometime
In the spring.
this year,
Okay.
because dates is just being taken left and right.
Right.
But I want it to be well planned,
Right.
and I want it to be geared toward the young women,
Okay.
the younger women, and it'll be entitled "Destined for Greatness." So
okay.
that would be a brunch style conference type of
Okay.
thing, and the date I don't have set in stone,
Okay.
but it will be on the web page. I have a web page
Okay. What's the webpage?
that I have not published.
Oh.
It's been done, but I just haven't published it since 2019.
Oh, see?
So it's ready to be published, but I just have been like, should I publish it? Should I not? So my finger is on it and off it, on
Okay.
and off it. So
It's time.
I
Publish it.
will put it on that website.
Okay, send
And
me all
because
the
of
handles.
today, I will make sure it is published.
Okay.
And then I'm on Instagram. My Journey Has Purpose. Everything's My Journey Has Purpose.
Okay.
So you can find me just based off of that.
And I'm going to also put the links in the description on Instagram and all of the social media. So you could just click the link. That'll take you directly to the page. If you want to send Mrs. Spence an email, if you have any personal questions that you want to ask her, if you're afraid, you don't want to write in the comments, please email.
Email me the questions.
Yes, email her the questions.
MyJourneyHasPurpose.com.
Talk to her.
At Gmail, I'm sorry.
At Gmail, yes. So she's very open to discussing with you. She's also a master of social work. That is her career field. So, anything you may want to ask her, anything you want to know, she's willing to talk to you. Even students that are in school, like if you need to know the journey, we didn't even get a chance to talk about that.
I gotta come back.
But she has to come back to encourage you guys. But if you have questions about that, I'm definitely.
They can ask me questions if they come to
Yes.
your brunch.
Yes. Oh, thank you for the plug.
Yeah.
So, April 1st, if you guys do not have your tickets already, a lot of you have been buying your tickets. My mom is my co-host. If you have any questions,
I'll answer questions there too.
yes, there'll be a box where we'll be answering questions. It's going to be panel style. You'll be able to ask questions and talk. We have some amazing speakers that are on the panel. Please come out, support, and you'll have the opportunity to meet Mrs. Spence, this great woman in the community. She does a lot. And Miss Spence, I want to just say personally, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that and pray that everything that your hand touches is gold.
Amen. I receive
Is
it.
gold. So, thank you guys. Continue to like,
pleasure.
follow, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Counselors Connect. Bye, guys.